Hello everyone, today is going to be a very long video. I'm going to be going over the bird, everything you need to know about it, tips, tricks, artifact card sets, teams, the links, the passives, the cards that the bird may have that have a certain gimmick to them, as well as the gimmicks the bird may have itself, as well as any tips for each team I'll be using, as well as the limitations, if there are any limitations for those teams. So, obviously, each team, I'll talk about gear sets, relics, stuff like that. But the first thing I want to go over is passives, and which ones are the best, which ones are the worst. So first, we're just going to start with floor one. Sorry. So floor one has 3 passives. You can only get 1 passive on this floor, which is not too bad. I would say, obviously, if you're later on, I'll be showing optimal teams for newer players, for middle tier players, and then obviously for the very long time free-to-play players like myself, I'll be showing perfect teams for that, and my current, what I think is the current best team at least. So, the first thing I'm going to be talking about, of course, is the passives here, but we're going to be going over each one individually when it comes to that team, and I'll explain which one's the best for this team, which one is the worst for this team. So first, let's just talk about the passes overall. So increase the hero's crit damage by 30% for each orb removed from the hero's ultimate gauge, obviously from the hero's ultimate gauge move. So, it excludes ultimates, which is, there's not really many ultimates that do remove ult gauge that you would use on bird, but it's limited at 3 times, meaning he can get 9% extra crit damage. So there are a few ways where this can be very impactful for your team. So firstly, if you're running a character that you know does not have the best defensive stats, or the best crit defense, or the best crit resistance, if you get crit a lot, it could be game over, especially on floor 3 and the Power Strike AoE or at the end of floor 2. That having this passive and having characters with low crit resistance may be the end, because he can do a hell of a lot of damage, especially with Power Strike and his Rupture cards and Flood cards and all that kind of good stuff. This one is Death Base's passive. You know what Death Base does. Decreases all enemies' crit resistance and crit defense by 30%. This one, I would say, is probably the more annoying one. It's not the worst. It definitely can be bad later on, because you can get like passes where like your defense is always lowered. So you got your defense lowered, you got your attack lowered, and your crit resistance and crit defense is lowered. That's when things can start to become a problem. But apart from that, this one isn't too bad. If you're a person who's only been able to do floor 1, maybe this passive will be worse, as obviously you're probably not going to be removing much ult gauge. You don't really want to be crit. Obviously, this one here is horrible. If you're like a very free-to-play player, like you've got like really low constellations, stuff like that. I'll also go over constellations and stuff like that at the end, because I will be putting disclaimers in throughout the video. You know, certain characters are 6/6, certain characters are this, so you can't always expect the same result as you see with Wales, or Wales making videos like, oh, this team is sick, you know, it can beat the hardest content in the game. But then you have to realize where they stand and where you stand are 2 different places, because you can't see their constellations and you can't see their box CC. You can't see them without it, is what I'm trying to say. But obviously, everyone has their limitations. And obviously this one is a little bit irritating, where whenever it crits you, you get 40% defense-related stats lower. That can be really irritating, especially if you're running characters that you've got attack rate down on. Especially if you're lower end of free-to-play, so you've probably got like, I don't know, some characters like 8, 9k defense with attack rate down, which I even have some like that as well. Losing 40% defense-rated stats is a killer, especially on the late stages. But of course, if you're running newer characters like the Ultimate 1, Festival Diane, Fesgotha, you're most likely not going to be crit that often, so you don't have to worry about it too much. Let's go on to the second floor, where the passives start to get slightly irritating, I would say. So, obviously, you can get different phases on different floors. Phase 2 and 4 give you 2 passives, this one, which is a little bit irritating. Obviously, you can get mix and match, but actually, I'll go over them like this, so it's easier to explain them. So, obviously, this is floor 2, phase 2, so this is a phase that has a gimmick, which I'll go over when I get to the part. So this one is he gets 3 ult gauge at the start of the battle. So this isn't just like the first phase. Every single phase he'll gain 3 ult gauge. So it would wipe it normally, but he automatically starts with 3. I wouldn't say that's a problem, unless you've got the passive where your crit resistance is lowered. So yeah, your crit defense and crit resistance is lowered, because then if he's able to crit on an ultimate, it could be very impactful. Even for a team like Y use, it could be pretty devastating. Sometimes you have to sacrifice the odd character here and there to defeat it. This one's probably the most irritating, because this one, the second one, which is attack and defense decrease, it can lower your stats by 25%. Of course, you're using the ultimate one escanor, you don't have to deal with that stuff. We're using a character, a cleanse character, or a remove buff character. You're completely fine. But this one, accompanied with another passive on floor 3, is horrible, and is the reason you want to not get that crit. Because there's a string of passives you'll get, which I'll go through and just say which passives are the worst. Because obviously you can get 2 of these passives out of the 3 and still be completely fine. But if you get that third one, it's definitely going to ramp up the difficulty a hell of a lot, especially if it's your first time doing the floor. I'll also go over the teams that I first beat the bird with, which are a little bit ropey, so to say. This one isn't too bad, of course, unless you've got, obviously, unless you're running attack crit down characters, then they'll be losing a lot of HP, especially if you're on the free-to-play side, because I don't, what is his defense? Can we actually see his defense-related stats? What phase was this? Phase 2, right? Phase 2. So let's just say phase 2, you're losing like 20, that's quite a bit, 25k HP. Let's just say all your characters are rocking 170k to 190k. You're losing a decent chunk of your HP, which can be very impactful later on, especially like 15k, so now you're losing 30k HP. His defense gets lowered, but you're still losing a decent chunk, especially on this third phase. This third phase has a bit where it increases his own defense. I'm not sure if that would then decrease the amount of HP, increase the amount of HP you would lose from the passive, but I think we have to find out then. But coming to phase 4. So phase 4, I would probably say the worst ones to get is this bottom one here, only because you think, oh, well, it's only 15%, and, twice, that's only 30%, and it's still not as bad as those two, but after 4 times, it's 60%, which outnumbers both of these. I know at the start, you have like two cards. You have 3 cards, right, where you play them, and it's lower than these two. But after those 3 cards, it's now taking less damage than if you would have got the first 2 passives. This first one isn't too bad, because if you're running straight at melee, of course, he just blitzes, and most characters will still blitz. The 30% isn't too bad, because obviously AoE characters. This one, it's okay. This one's definitely the worst. Unless if you have Margaret Link on someone, so Margaret, if you know what her Link does, or her Grace, for every buff on the enemy, she gives the person she's attached to more stats and more damage, and it's very good overall, and I would highly recommend if you have her 6/6, or I'll go over stuff later on like that, to give her to your DPS, or Miguelda. Miguelda's a very good character to give Margaret Link to. But anyway, that's it for passes on phase floor 2. Now we go to floor 3. Floor 3 is where things start to get really bad for passives. So obviously I said that if you get your defense crit related stats lowered, so crit defense, crit resistance, and then you get the one where you're always debuffed every turn, this is why you don't want them. So the worst case scenario is you then get this one as well, which is attacking the enemy with a debuff will always result in a crit. So when he attacks you, he always crits no matter what. You've literally got all your crit defense lowered. Even your tank could probably get crit at this point, and it's really bad. You don't really want that one. This one isn't too bad. The one where increases the attack rate stats by 5%. I'd say this is probably the easier one. Actually, no, the easiest one to get is this bottom one here. So it reflects 25%. If you're running Miguelda, you've got Miguelda's Relic, so I will be using Miguelda's Relic throughout the entire thing, as we did get given a free relic, so I'll be using Miguelda's Relic throughout. As saying, this is the free relic you would have gotten, I'm going to be using it. So, this one isn't too bad, because you've probably got more lifesteal than the damage you'll be taking. Characters can remove buffs, not too bad. I think it actually has a amount of turns. I think it only lasts like 2 or 3 turns as well, so it's not too bad. Pardon me. This one here, increase the hero's attack by 8% for each stance buff on the enemy when using a skill. I'm not sure how impactful this is. This is the one where I've never seen the big damage number like spike. So with certain passes, like with this top one, if you have all the bad defense ones, and you get this, you can feel the damage. This one, you can't really feel it. This one, you can't really feel it. This one's completely useless. But this one, if you start stacking them up, let's just say you push like 3 ultimates in one turn, and you don't remove the buff, then you can start to feel it, because the 15% attack related stats, there's crit chance, crit damage, pierce rate, just attack stat. That's pretty big. And then we're going to phase 4. So phase 4, there are a few slight problems here. This one's the easiest, which is just every time he single targets you, he decreases your every time he single targets you, your attack rate starts getting lowered by 30%. You one turn it or you two turn it, not really a problem. I would say the problems are probably the Overcome Crisis one, which is irritating, but I have triggered it, so I have triggered the effect where he full heals and gets 15% all stats, and have won it before. But it is very like down to the wire, and I definitely would not recommend it even for people who are using like the best teams. It is possible, and it sometimes is very easy, but I still don't recommend it. The revive is okay. It's not the best. What I do recommend if you do get the revive is you get like to one shot. You get it to like nearly one shot. You trigger the one shot and then you kill him at the second turn. But obviously, you'll have to deal with other things as well. Anyway, that's it for the what are they called? Passives. For the passives. Anyway, now we'll get on to the cards for each phase. With this, I will be going into the fight and showing you all of them and stuff like that. So anyway, see you there. Hello, this is the part of the video where I'm going to go and show you all of the, skills that the bird has and the passives. So first we're going to start on floor 1. Here we go, phase 1. So phase 1 is just normal. He's just got a spike card, means if he gets crit, does double damage, and a normal bleed card, as well as having just some good old normal damage ultimate. Not too bad. Of course, he has this one, which is some extra skills. He can't be affected by any of them. All the phases have that. Rumor is 1 debuff. No chance, yep. They all have that. 30% less damage from ultimates, which some people may not know of. And, oh yeah, everyone has this as well. And they have ignore evasion as well. Floor 2, the passives don't change. Sorry, phase 2, passives don't change. Has a spike single target card once again, and this time has a bleed AoE, as well as just having a weak point ult, so obviously it will combo them, so you don't really want it to combo. Maybe have a cleanse unit, or just a character who can cleanse, or just very tanky team in general. On to phase 3, there are a few new passives now. This one being, it uses one of its cards, which I believe is this one. It guarantee uses this card once every 2 turns. Now I've got damage cap as well, which is 30% of max HP. Still has all the same things apart from that, but it's just 30% now. There's now a damage cap of 30% HP, and it now uses a specific card every 2 turns. Now it has a remove buff and ignite card, which is very irritating, and a bleed AoE, as well as having the weak point single target card and a normal damage ultimate. And now we have this final phase here, which actually has a gimmick to it, which it doesn't actually show you here, that it will have 500,000 defense. Which is what I think, and that's kind of stupid, but that's the reason you bring Power Strike characters. It's not really that bad, as long as you have Power Strike or super, super high attack. He has a release card, which means if you have any debuffs on you, he will do a lot of damage, as well as having a debuff card. Having an attack seal isn't too impactful, but can be irritating. And it once again has a weak point AoE ult. It's pretty normal. Damage cap again, 30%. Apart from that, everything else is normal, and it uses the attack disable at least once every 2 turns. Moving on to floor 2, floor 2 definitely has a lot more gimmicks. Phase 1 actually has no gimmicks, but it has a weak point card. It also has an AoE bleed card. Buffs itself. It then has this amplify card when it buffs itself, and has a normal attack card. It uses this card every 2 turns, and it uses the other card every 3 turns. So not too bad. Once again, also having a damage cap of 30%. Floor 2 actually has a gimmick. So the gimmick is it has a res of 100% of its defense, so it revives with 12,000 HP. And it has the normal 30% damage cap, but this is where you really need to pay attention. Obviously it's got a co-destruction card, bleed card, disable, decreases attack and disables buff and deeper skills, that's fine. This is the card, this is the reason you don't want to run Red Tarmill unless you're running the best team, which will be the 3rd team. And that's because this card, if you use Red Tarmill, it will disable this effect. The misses when attacking enemies using Taunt. It will remove this, and it will just be inflicts damage. You want the Taunt, having the Taunt will completely nullify the damage, which is the reason you want a Taunt character. The rest can be a little bit irritating, so it will take you 2 turns, or if you have a Death character, you can wipe it in 1 turn. Phase 3 also has gimmicks, where it's split up into After you 40%, it will then go to, so I think after 40%, the first buff it will get is defense buff. After you take it below a certain percentage again, it then gets a HP buff where it'll practically full heal itself, and then the final buff, which is the attack buff, which will give it stupidly high attack related stats, and it minces you. It's so strong. Apart from that, no other gimmicks. Obviously 30% damage reduction. Release card, that bleed and infect is 2 turns. It's so painful. Even level 1 is 2 turns. Having Hraesvelgr cleanse card, perfect for this. If not, you take quite a bit of damage. This lower defense can be very irritating as well. This attack disable, it's never happened to me, but it can be irritating. And there's a lifesteal ultimate to ensure that it can be even more irritating. And onto Phase 4 actually has no gimmick. It does have this, which is a new passive where if the explosion effect goes off, it will heal 20% of the max HP and fill by 1 ult gauge. But of course, if you have Hraesvelgr or another healing character or a cleansing character, you don't really have to worry about that. It does have a power strike AoE card, which is devastating. Very devastating. The deplete ult gauge one, not too bad. It's actually pretty good if you have first go through, because it constantly means you keep getting the passive. Of course, it has the card to inflict the explosion, which only for 1 turn, means if you leave it for 1 turn, you get the explosion effect, he gets his stats increased, no, he gets healing, and then obviously it's got the stat increase here as well. It will use this one every 2 turns, and use the other one every 3 turns as expected, yeah. On to the final floor. The final floor, this one doesn't really have a gimmick for the first phase, apart from it takes a lot less damage from level 1 cards, it takes 50% less damage from rank 1 skills. So it's probably the tankiest phase out of all the phases for Bird, as well as having a charge card, which means if you run Matrona, your defense rate stats won't matter, and you can still get completely destroyed. This blockade effect is really irritating as well. Of course, if you then got the other passive, which then debuffs you every turn, you then will have to pull 2 level 1 Hraesvelgr heals just to be able to use a level 2 card. And obviously, with it taking 50% damage from level 1 cards, 50% less damage from level 1 cards, then you'll have to have either really good DPS or just be really lucky with the Hraesvelgr pulls. This is also another very irritating card, the Ruin Rupture card, because not only does it have 2 effects, these 2 effects are very powerful. 2 times damage, which you always have buffed characters if you're using any of the teams I show, or debuff, which is just one of the passives you can get is the constant debuffs you. Yeah, then you're screwed. You're constantly taking like 60% increased damage because of it. It's stupid. Obviously, it's got this one, which means you take a certain chunk more damage, and then another lifesteal ultimate. Phase 2, it actually has a... Yeah, no, this one actually has a gimmick, where if you get it to 40% HP, and then you attack it, and you don't kill it, it will then give you a dissolve effect that I think is this one? No, it gives you dissolve effect, which is like... how many turns is it? I think it's 2 turns for 3 ult gauge, which is quite impactful, or 2 turns for 2 ult gauge, something like that. This is also a 30% damage cap, as well as having deplete ult gauge and delete cards. This delete cards one is very irritating. It's not random cards, by the way. It just deletes cards of the character it attacks. So it's not random. It just deletes the card of that character. As you can see here, it says deletes from that skill. It will also delete ultimate moves if there's nothing else to delete. It's got a shock AoE, lowered defense stats. That's a little bit irritating. Inflicts damage 108% and depletes 2 ult gauge at the end of the turn for 2 turns. Yeah, this is like dissolve. It literally gives you like dissolve. Cancel buffs and stances can also be very irritating as well. But yeah, that's it. Of course, it will use the cards every 2 and 3 turns. This one 2 turns, this one 3 turns. On to phase 3 now. This one is now 35% attack and increases attack related stats for every 5% HP lost. 5%, yeah. This one, every turn, it will remove a specific effect. So, sorry, it will disable a specific card. So it is, I believe, stances, debuffs, buffs, healing cards, and then attack cards and ultimates. That's what I believe it is. So it's in that order. So that's the reason you got to kill it as quickly as possible, because it guaranteed does 1 every turn. So you've got 3 turns until it disables your buff cards. And then 4 turns to disable your Hraesvelgr heal card. And this, as you can see, this has a lot of HP, but it does have a 35% damage cap, so you don't really have to worry about that stuff there. Onto the final and probably the most horrible phase is this one, where it's a Flood single target card that can do, like, you know, 180k damage when he's got 30% HP left, because that's fair. Gives himself a buff that gives him evasion, which is also broken. disables everything but attack skills and lowers your attack by 40%. You know, also very fair. Lifesteal, just as normal to be irritating, and another lifesteal card to be even more irritating. They built this final phase just to be as tanky and as irritating as humanly possible. Not only can he have a passive where if you take him too low, he increases all of his stats and full heals, or he has a revive, or if you single target card, you lose 40% of your attack related stats, which is very impactful, especially if it hits your DPS. This phase was made to be a DPS, a tank, and the DPS have a lot of defense so it can tank quite a bit, and a lot of HP so it can just suck all the damage and lifesteal all of it back. But anyway, that is it for the cards. Time to go on to the first team. So now we are getting on to the first team. This first team I will be using it's not the most free-to-play friendly, but I'll go over links and stuff like that. So, Brynhild is free currently. She's given out for free currently. Matrona was free several times. Miguel's been out in the game for a while. And Margaret is the character that's been out for a year and a bit, nearly a year and a half now, a few months off a year and a half. So I'm going to be using her as well. Really, you don't really need Margaret, you just need a cleansing character. You could use Fest King, really. Fest King wouldn't be too bad, now I think about it. But this team I'll currently be using. Margaret, let's just look at her. 2/6. I only have the Halloween outfit for her, no other outfits. I do have a Holy Relic, but Holy Relic only works with Archangels, so don't worry. Nothing. She wouldn't really help on the field. I do have Bryn's Relic, but Bryn's Relic only increases her own stats. But I will, of course, be using Miguel's with her Relic, as she's the most impactful character on this team. Now let me explain links, and I'll go over gear first. So, attack crit down for Margaret. My Margaret's currently running HP defense, but I got attack crit down for Hraesvelgr, just to help her attack a little bit. HP defense on Reinhardt. My Reinhardt is 6/6, so that's the reason I'm using him. You only really want to use characters you have 6/6 as associations, because they will give the most stats for your characters. On Miguel, because Miguel already just needs to tank more, she doesn't really need that much attack. Sariel Link, attack crit down for Brynhild, because Brynhild just needs straight DPS. And Tomiel Link for, I'm going to switch her out, and we're going to go for the Queen. Diana is probably one of my, a tank that I say, if you have enough Fest coins to get her, just get her. She's probably one of the best tanks in the game. She's so good, she's so useful, very good, highly recommend. So, we go into equipment. My Diana is 4/6, by the way, there's no relic for her, I don't have any outfits for her, so don't worry. HP defense, attack defense, because Miguelda will take a lot of damage. Miguelda takes a hell of a lot of damage. Attack crit down for Bryn, because Bryn's main DPS, and HP defense for Diana, she is the tank. For associations, once again, I said, attack crit down on Escanor, HP defense for Reinhardt, attack crit down for Sariel, and full defense for Tomiel, just to ensure that we have a heal. Obviously, Diana does have the damage reduction from her taunt, so it'll be very helpful later on. Let's get into it. Floor 1 should be very easy. The reason I highly recommend Diana is that Diana's passive means that whenever she takes damage, use stamina pot. Whenever she takes damage, also I am running the bird card set. I do highly recommend it. I will have a video up here in the top right now saying, this is how I made 5k points in a week or something. I made a stupid amount of points in a week. It was stupid. Obviously, you will have to realize that I do have higher constellations, and box CC will be different and vary between different people. So do not take what I say as gospel and what you see as gospel as somewhat. Obviously, Wales will have much higher CC. That's the reason I don't recommend, unless the character seems broken. Not worth trying it. So, cards I want to keep, literally only the Brynhild Power Strike cards. Brynhild Power Strike cards, the cards I want to keep. Get rid of the Margaret cards. The Dene cards aren't too bad, to be fair. In terms of keeping them for the damage at the end. Golden ones can do quite a bit of damage, to be fair. So mainly what I want to save are Margaret Blue cards and Power Strike Bryn cards, level 2 Power Strike Bryn cards to be exact. And the reason I actually say I do recommend Diana over Matrona is because when Diana takes damage, her passive goes up. Let me actually show you what her passive is. It's long-winded, but practically every time she gets hit, she increases her damage, max damage dealt, and then the damage she takes, she can then output. But this damage she outputs is capped. What I mean by capped is she can't hit lower than that damage, meaning that on the phase you would normally patience, she guarantees damage, meaning that you won't get the corrosion, you can stall for longer. That's why I recommend Diane. Can do this. This should kill. Bryn's Relic, I just removed it because... No, I have a Relic on, but me using that card just removed the effect of it, which increases her damage per... she can only have 1 debuff, and having that 1 debuff increases her attack damage output by 20%. Diane's a perfect tank as usual. Obviously, Margaret's passive will help as well. Margaret's passive is that whenever a buff card is, whenever increases Goddess out, so pretty much only buffs herself, but it will definitely help later on. Especially, you can use her ultimate and still do quite a bit of damage. Let's just use this to get rid of it. We're going to get Bryn's ult, and we're going to start moving Diane cards, because getting Diane higher ult gauge means she does more damage because she's a pulverize card. Oh, my voice. There we go. My Bryn is only 2/6. Of course, when I do get the free copy, she will be 3/6. Do this, do this, do this, and I'm going to do this just to get her ultimate. I also do want to try and get Miguelda's ult. Okay, or Bryn can just one-shot it. That's also a thing. If you don't know why Brynhilde is so broken, she was practically made for demonic beasts. What I mean by that, I mean, like, her passive is, like, increase her stats by... stupid for every ally surviving, so that would be 3 because she has 3 allies on the field. That'd be 36% increased to all her stats. No, sorry, to all her basic stats, which is really broken. And if you think about it, it increases all stats by 8%. So that means crit chance, crit damage, everything practically. Lifesteal by 8% every time an ally dies, so she can get max stack to 3, so it's 24. So that lifesteal you see there, 10%. Oh, sorry, so it'd be like 22% base. You're looking at about 44% when everyone on your team dies, if they die, which obviously you don't want them to die, but they might die in some cases. The only issue with this team is you have 3 dead cards. What I mean by 3 dead cards are cards that don't do damage. I'm going to do this. Actually, no. I want to do this first, then this, then this. And I'm going to move the Margaret card. The reason I've done that is so Pulverize does more damage per ult gauge, I don't want to use my ultimate, and then waste the damage. Oh, this is the damage cap phase. Oh my god, I've got here really quickly. Okay, that's perfect. I actually did really want their ultimates, and I can get both their ultimates and kill this phase. Obviously, Diane taking damage is completely fine with me, I don't mind. Actually, the more damage Diane takes, the better. That means the more damage she can dish back. Do this, do this. No. Okay, so we are going to move here because I want to get her ultimate. And for maximum damage, I'm going to play all of these cards. My Margaret is HP defense. I used to run it with attack crit dam. But then I needed HP defense. Because HP defense is very impactful. There we go. Miguelda hit damage cap, as expected from Miguelda. Okay, so we have lost a lot of buffs here from Miguelda, which can be sort of very big. But I'm just going to show you the power of... so obviously I've only got 2/6 Margaret. She's HP defense. And she has someone with high attack, I think, as her association. So, 14k. Very good, as you see. Brynhilde, not damage cap, but still very good damage. Of course, we still have Miguelda with the safety. Oh, now we've got 2 safety cards, which is also very useful. You want to keep. You don't have to keep the Yan cards, but honestly, keeping them is somewhat very useful, especially the more damage she takes. I will heal all this damage back though with this Miguelda card. Bleed. That's not. That's actually very good now I think about it. Do this. Do this. Then we're actually going to use one of these cards. Just to get rid of it, for some extra hand space. Obviously, you can run like half crit chance, half half attack, but I don't recommend that on Brynhilde overall. As you can see, Diane's hitting it really hard now. There you go, only 8k. Diane is attack disabled, but that is completely fine because we do have 2 more Brynhild cards. I also want to show Brynhild's detonate card, so I will obviously show both cards. Brynhild herself, I've not had her relic proc that much, mainly because, well, I'm constantly cleansing. I've got 2 cleanse units, I don't really need it up. So this is what her detonate does. If you have a golden detonate card, you can do damage, but obviously I don't have a golden detonate card. Thank you, Brynhild, for the kill. As you can see, this team isn't the best. I do recommend having 2 support characters. No, a support character. Miguel, I don't actually count Miguel as a support character. She's more of a DPS. But anyway, on to the second phase. So the second phase is where you have to watch out for gimmicks. And these gimmicks are very small irritating things, like has revive, can one-shot you if you're not careful, stuff like that. Obviously I would have explained that in the previous bit, talking about gimmicks and passives and cards. Sorry, cards, I've already explained passives. No, yeah, the passives is in these things, the Demonic Beast passives. I also need to talk about, or I would have spoken to you too about, I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to go over the cards. I would have been over the cards and the passives that the bird has on each phase. Anyway, so I want to taunt up here. Oh no, actually no, I'm not gonna. I said I'm gonna Margaret buff us, which will then give us some damage reduction, and use these cards here. So obviously, you know, you probably would want to use Diane's taunt. You don't have to. If you're very confident that you can tank it, I'm very confident because he's using only 1 single target card and 2 AoE cards. You can tell because the debuff is always AoE and the attack card is always single target. Did I just get the exact hand back? Probably going to target... Yeah. I don't mind. Brynhild's practically a tank. Look, that's 98k. And she's still standing. She's standing very strong still. So here, now I can buff up because he's not going to debuff anymore and he's not going to have the weak point effect. The reason he's doing all that damage is because he has the weak point effect. So we are going to kill her. Use the Hraesvelgr card just to get a little bit of HP back. Actually, I think there may actually be a damage cap on this phase, so I don't actually think I can kill here. I think it's 30%, I want to say. And I was correct, it's 30%. But anyway, it's not really that big of a problem. This is gonna be a problem though if I keep pulling these cards. I'm gonna merge these Diane cards. Probably not the best shout, but I will do it. Mainly because I need the hand space. You don't need any Diane safety cards, so don't worry about like wanting to keep a Diane card for some sort of phase or anything. Get Diane's ult, and then we'll do this as well. Gotta make the most out of my cards I currently got. And that's just I need hand space currently. So this is the phase where if you're using Red Tarmiel, you're screwed. I did get my HP lower, that's not really too big of an issue for me. But this is the bit irritating. It has a revive and it has the practically insta-kills you if you don't have a taunt up. So we're going to put a taunt up. I'm actually going to put the damage increase up as well. Just because I want to do some damage here. Hopefully I get at least, I should be able to hit 2 damage caps, which is what I want to do. Which would then trigger, it won't trigger anything, but it'll just make it easier next phase when I want to go for a wipe. I do highly recommend wiping this phase in 2 cards. Oh, sorry, 2 turns. That's nearly double damage cap, I'm completely fine with that. Got 2 Brynhild cards, isn't too bad. Diane, of course, sucks all the damage in. So now we can heal up, get rid of those debuffs. How much faith? Actually, I have faith this kills, but I do want to get Miguel's ult for next phase. Miguel's ult for next phase is very useful, actually, for 1 bit. Brynhild nearly hits damage cap. Diane should trigger the res, please, please. It did trigger the res, that's fine. And then Hraesvelgr kills. There is like a small res, so if you see activated unique, that means you've done it. Okay, so this is the phase where things get a little bit complicated, so I'm going to do this just for the extra damage. Merge, because I can, and then do this, and then we're going to move... the only person's card we can actually move, which is Margaret's card. So this is my recommendation. If you don't have like a super broken team, if you're using a team like this, you hit the first damage cap, he then gets the defense buff. After the defense buff, he then gets, I believe, the HP buff, and the final buff he gets is the attack buff. The attack buff, practically a death sentence, you will take a hell of a lot of damage. Obviously, running Margaret here, you do have the bonus of being able to cleanse the infect off. The infect is very, very dangerous. So we're going to cleanse this off, do this. 30%, 30%, kill. Make sure I don't have the bleed as well, because obviously the bleed with the infect, it's very dangerous. I think the bleed and infect are both 2 turns each. There you go. Brynhild does struggle to crit, but obviously you can buy her weapons, helps her crit more, or do stuff like that. That will help her crit a lot more. So, we have no good hand. Absolute no good hand. Okay, but there are a few things I can do. I can't rush 2 ultimates. Okay. I can rush 2 ultimates. There we go. So now we have 2 ultimates. We are in a bad situation, so we don't have a taunt up. This is the phase. Oh, we got this passive as well, of course, of course. But we do have. This is good for Margaret. This is actually very good for Margaret. Margaret will be able to dish out a lot more damage, which is what we want. I'm probably going to take a lot of damage as well, but lucky enough, we have the secondary tank, aka Brynhild. Okay, so we're going to heal up, then use Miguel's ult just in case she somehow doesn't full heal, this, and then that. Boom, everyone heals a lot. Brynhild practically heals back to full. Miguel hits damage cap. Even 2/6 Miguel can hit damage cap, so don't worry. Miguel's gold cards also hit very hard, and now Margaret. She's HP defense, only 2/6. Of course, you were 6/6, that would have wiped, but I'm not 6/6, so I'm not going to wipe. I wonder what debuff this is. Explosion. This is lifesteal, I think. No, that's the Power Strike card. So if you are very unlucky, you can get it so he's just constantly using Power Strike cards. That's probably the most painful bit you can get, is if he's just constantly using Power Strike cards. So I'm going to cleanse this, 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 and this will guarantee the kill. So the reason I'm using these Miguelda cards is Miguelda has the least HP on my team, and I know that. So I want to try and get as much lifesteal for her as humanly possible to ensure that she does survive the next phase. There we go, Miguelda's cutscene, always nice. But I'm going to pause the recording here because it might actually take me a few attempts to do this, and obviously I will tell you how many attempts it takes me to do the next part anyway. Yay, attempt 2, we got all the way to the final phase, right to the end, and then everything went downhill. This team is good, but it definitely has its drawbacks. Mainly one being, which I noticed, that overall DPS is very centered around these 3, 2 of them not having DPS cards. And one of them that takes to like the end of... Okay, thank you game for making it so I can't win immediately. Really enjoy that. So much fun. Immediately makes it so... If he pulls 2 level 2 cards, I don't think it's even worth starting, because it's 2 level 2 single targets and they do stupid amount, because their charge means they ignore defense. So having Matrona won't actually help you there, it won't save you at all. That's the reason I recommend Diane. Diane doesn't rely on defense related stats, she literally just relies on damage reduction. 2 level 2s again? Wow, level 1 and a level 2. Okay. So I'm going to do this, this, and get rid of these 2 cards. Like, Miguelda's not bad, her cards do decent damage. Decent damage with Margaret. No, I should. So that is blockade, but it's completely fine because I have several. I have 2 cleanse units, which is very useful. Cleanse this, do this, and now I'm merging a level 2 is better on this phase because this phase has not damage reduction, but he takes like 50% less damage from level 1 cards. And he has blockade, so you're practically always forced to have a cleanser. Brynhild should do a lot now. Very good damage from Brynhild. Diane should tank very well because it is Diane. Diane normally tanks very, very well. Okay, I do want to remove his ult gauge. I don't really want him ulting, if possible. Because this ult on this phase is quite a bit of damage. Diane's gold card. Very good damage. Margaret, pitiful as ever. And Bryn. Not too bad, but Power Strike isn't really the best on this phase because its defense-related stats are through the roof. Well, I have just been blockaded, which is also very useful and lovely. Now I'm having my... I now take more damage. Lovely, even better. I'm going to Diane ult, get rid of this card. Might as well just move, and then move. Diane's ult should kill, because Diane hits quite hard, even without a stance currently on. Which one's this one? Because they are both... Okay, this one, okay, that's not too bad. So we are going to Diane stance up this time. Breno... I'm actually going to use this card just for damage, and now that will take us into the 40%. So sub 40% on this, he gets, like, buffed as hell. Well, not buffed as hell, but he gets a debuff. He gets an effect, which practically means if I hit him now, I lose ult gauge, which is not really what I want. Not too bad. Diane's just being Diane. She can just tank for days, which is the good thing. The change of effects around her means she's actually she's able to dish out a lot more damage. Okay, so I'm going to do this. And then, you probably wondering why am I using the cleanse at the end, why don't I use it now? Because I want to get people's ultimates and I can't look. See, look, dissolve. Dissolve. But now, he's dead, so Brynhild didn't get dissolve. But now if I cleanse, the dissolve is now gone. So that means I get to keep all my ultimate gauge, which is what I really want right now, is ultimate gauge. Okay, so I can Diane taunt. Can I stop pulling Margaret cards? I don't mind pulling Hraesvelgr cards. Just don't really want Margaret cards. I would actually recommend running Margaret attack crit dam. Now I've been using it with HP defense, you realize how useless she actually is. Unless the enemy's got like a million buffs. Ooh, golden Margaret card. I might actually attempt the kill now. So this is stances, then it goes debuffs, then it's buffs. So I've got a little bit of time to play with. So this, 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 and then this. Morix can do nothing as usual. Yep, 100k, very useful. Hraesvelgr, not even damage cap. What the hell? This damage reduction passive is so horrible, man. It's actually horrible. Screw it, I'm probably just gonna end up golden buffing. It just makes it a lot easier. It'll make it a hell of a lot easier than what it's currently in right now. So yeah, so now so now I get debuffed. So I've lost debuff, I lost stances. I can't. This is why I dislike this boss so much, especially for new players. It's so hard. Okay, why am I doing it that way? I'm an idiot. Do it this way. Because now I get this. And I ult here. So this will give me the golden buff before I ult. This will then give me an extra stack of Margaret. Margaret should then be able to do a lot more damage and it should be a lot fine. I wouldn't recommend doing this though. It's very risky. Because she's only 2-6. That's somehow better than what Margaret did. Obviously I do have buffs now, but still. This is still going to be irritating. Brynhild tanks like normal. Still should be okay. Then I lose buff cards, thank you very much. How high is Diane's passive? Hopefully it's maxed. It's maxed, thank goodness. So Diane's guaranteed doing 100k. I'm gonna have to use 2 Diane cards. There's nothing else I can do. These guys aren't doing enough damage. I lied. Hraesvelgr just... why? Why are you doing some... Oh, I guess I do have a golden buff card. Please don't give us the horrible passive. Please give us the easy one. Please, 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 please. I got the horrible one. Yay! So much fun. Anyway, on with pain. This. Could I kill? So 100k, 100k, this, and then an ultimate. I'm being greedy here. Maybe. Come on. Come on, I need like there. Completely useless. Okay, I'll be back in a bit. And we are back. And the game is infinitely loading, because yay. I'm just gonna get damage done here. I'm not gonna go for the kill. I'm gonna go for a heal, just make sure everyone's full HP, got as much damage reduction as possible. Okay, she hit a lot harder than last time. Don't you dare, Diane. That is very close. Okay, I should be able to kill with Diane. No, I can't, because she's going to lose the buffs, goodness sake. And of course, it's a lifesteal card, because fun. Screw it. Please don't do too much damage, Miguel. If too much damage, I've got to restart again. Perfect. We are back. I just redid my turn. I'm not being greedy this time. He's going to buff himself. I'm completely fine with that. He's now probably going to go for a heal. He goes for Bryn. What? So he just did 180k twice using level 1 cards. What's your attack stat? Okay, you got really high attack, mate. Cool. Okay, so you can take 35%. So Miguelda, I need you to kill. If not, this runs over. Guess this runs over. As you can see, it is possible, but like, I highly don't recommend this team. Like, if you have the choice, I suggest you just go for the second team. This team, horrible. Absolutely. It's usable, don't get me wrong, but that you need to find, like, another buff unit, like, that actually can deal damage. And there isn't many of them. But anyway, now it's time to go on to the second team. Now we are on to the second team. This second team, using the same card set, instead this time we have Freya and Traitor Melly. Melly is very good. Obviously, if you're a long-time player, you definitely have Melly. I've also got Diane back. Diane's one of the, in my opinion, the best tank for this. Of course, then you've got Miguelda, which is always needed, and then Freya for the extra buffs. Plus, he's got death damage, which is also very helpful. Anyway, let's get on with it. Obviously, if you want to know the sets, Freya attack crit dam, Miguelda attack defense, attack crit dam, HP defense, and the links are all the same as last time, so nothing different. Let's get on with it. First floor should be really easy. All we need to do is save melee cards. Obviously save Miguelda's ult, and also we've got safety cards with Diane as well, just in case. Here we go. So first turn, I'm really just going to get rid of all the cards I don't really want. Also, as well as stacking damage reduction for melee, because the melee damage reduction will really help reduce the amount of damage my team will be taking, which is what I really want. Obviously, if melee can crit, because, you know, as you may know, it doesn't matter how high your crit chance is, it's never 100% sure you're going to crit. Unless the enemy literally has 0 crit resistance, then you'll guarantee crit defense, and crit resistance, and you'll guarantee crit. But unless it's at 0, you ain't. Unless it's at 0, you're not critting. Not 100% chance you're critting. I'm gonna save level 2s for melee. Use the cleave card, and that should kill. Always want to cleanse, make sure all my team has as many buffs as humanly possible. Big damage. Big damage again for the kill. Stance. This. I'm actually going to use this Diane card as well, just to get rid of it. I don't need it currently. Big damage from Diane. Let's get even bigger damage from Diane, which is also very good. Decent damage, not too bad. She can patience it at some points. She's just stupidly broken, she can just patience stuff. I'm gonna do this. Do I want Melly's cards to merge? I also do. I actually want Melly's ult as well. We'll do this. This probably won't kill, but I at least want to ensure. I did, because Diane crit, which is very good. I want to ensure that I can kill this phase. I got the. If I get crit lowered, yeah. If I get crit, my defense gets lowered. Okay, that's not too bad. Time to do this. Melly probably won't hit damage cap, but will still hit very hard. Yep, that's still very good. He's now got an extra buff. It's even closer to damage cap. As long as Diane does like 10-15%. Yeah, we should be fine. Melly should hit cap here. He is 2-6, so there you go. That is cap. I don't have Miguelda's ult, which means I don't actually have any safety cards, but I do have Diane, so we should be fine. Okay, I'm going to do this. Play this card and then play this one, mainly because I don't really want a golden Melly card. It might be a waste. Melly has a hell of a lot of buffs, so this will ensure that we get damage. Maybe 8,000, but it's still damage, so we don't get corrosion. My Melly has no weapons. As you can see, damage cap. I've got Miguelda cards. He is going to target Freya because for some reason the game just hates Freya for some reason. I think it's because he's got the lowest defense. So we are going to cleanse up. I do have faith that this will do a lot of damage. I don't have faith that it will kill though. So I'm once again going to stance up. Miguelda, once again, easily hits cap. Melly, a lot of damage. And of course we stance up with Diane. Now I think about it, I might actually just be able to kill with Diane. Because obviously I do have her ultimate. Maybe not because she's patiencing everything, which she's not actually taking any damage, means I can't dish back the damage, but we'll find out in a second. We do this, we do this. We'll do this for the extra buff, even though I'm pretty sure Melly has max passive. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Melly has max passive. 9k, very good Diane. 9k again. Damage cap with level 1s. That's what I mean. He's just very good. This team is very good. Freya's buffs, you don't realize how much of an impact they actually have on Melly. Each buff, let alone the percentage of stats they give him 30% extra attack on his single target, which is like his main damage dealing card, which is so broken and so useful. Anyway, now we're on to the second floor. This team should have no problem with the second floor. Obviously with the second floor there are several ways to do this, so there is one where you just rush Freya's ultimate, which is not it's actually a pretty good way to be fair. Which is actually probably the one I'm going to do. He's going to double debuff, so I could just let it slide and just let him hit whoever he wants to hit. But I prefer not to, so we're going to get the damage reduction up, we're then going to get an extra damage reduction stack with Melly to make it so we get 48% damage reduction, we get 40 from Diane's Taunt, and then we get an extra 8 from, or 7 from Melly, which is also very good. Of course, Melly missing every crit like normal, until he gets like infinite crit chance, then he crits. 45k, not too bad. Time to cleanse. So we are going to cleanse here, we're then going to move, and then move. Just to ensure that next turn I can guarantee then get the kill, as well as getting the ultimate at the same time, which is really why I won. He's going to buff up, but it's not too extreme. What debuffs is he going to give us? I think, is it... I want to say shock. Or bleed. Bleed, there we go. So we are going to do this. This, I'm hoping... How much HP has he got left? 300k. Okay, maybe I cleanse first, and then we do this. This means that then Miguel will then get an extra 2 buffs, Freya will then get some extra buffs. So Miguel's thing will do a lot more damage. Yeah, there you go. We should be fine now. This card does a lot for Freya. Oh, come on, Miguel. Come on, Miguel. Come on, Miguel. Come on, Miguel. Let's go. Just about. So, obviously, I don't have a taunt up. You're thinking, oh, you don't have a taunt up. I don't have a taunt. This card doesn't exist, okay? This card doesn't exist. So there is another way to get around this stage instead of having a taunt. And that is you have a character that has death damage. Or, in my case, just have Freya. Freya is very good. Freya's card should do a lot of damage here, hopefully. Yep, that's damage cap. Melee once again did damage cap. You want to use Freya's card at the end because you want the death damage to have effect at the end. If not, you won't be able to kill it. 1/6 can do this, but obviously I do have 2/6. You know, such a big difference. There's an extra 10% damage, of course. Okay, we're back on this phase. Back to pain. This should be fine. Get stance up with Diane. Play this card. What passives do we have? That's not too bad. Please don't go over. He didn't. Okay, that's good. I think if I would have got any lower, it would have got the heal and would have been straight back to full HP again. Just saying, that isn't a one-time passive either. That's constant. He would just constantly keep healing if you keep going back to that part. Diane is a monster, is now taking literally no damage. Oh, this is on floor 2, by the way. No damage. I want to keep Diane's ult now. Think about it. So 300k. What's this man's damage cap looking like? 30%. I have faith this kills. An extra buff for the squad. Diane comes in. Big damage. Melee comes in. Damage cap. Freya. Big boy Freya comes in. Cleans it up. Only having a base of 56 crit chance. Let's go, Freya. This is the reason I wanted to keep Diane's. Oh, okay. So all level 2s. That's kind of terrifying. I'm not gonna lie. We are gonna do this. Please don't give me the horrible one again. Did I get the horrible one? I didn't get the horrible one. That's very good. Freya, mate, you just got to do a little bit of damage here. Nothing too much, just a little. That's actually pretty good. And melee, of course, damage cap. This is a very quick team. Everyone here, there's only 2 wasted cards. Oh, I don't actually need these anymore because I have all the relics, but still. There's only 2 wasted cards, which is the taunt card and the buff card. Well, not the buff card, but the cleanse card. And then obviously everyone else is pretty much a DPS. Here we go. On to floor 3. I should be okay with floor 3 here. This is the team I used to use for a little while. If you couldn't do like the best team, just go for it. There's no point even wasting time. If you're used to using these teams, just go to the best team. It's not even worth using these teams when you can use the best team. So we do this. I do want to get damage reduction. Mainly for Diane's sake. We get an extra stack of damage reduction. We also remove all the cards that don't really do too much damage. Big damage from melee. Double crit on the final phase, of course. The final floor, sorry. There we go, blockade. That isn't really that big of a problem for us because we have a cleanse card with Miguel. The difference between using Diane and using Matrona is actually stupid. That's fine, I can actually use that card. And then I don't... Actually, I can merge because he's not actually using another debuff card. I use the melee card because I know melee can still output a decent chunk of damage whilst not having the effect. Well, not the effect, but like his passive. There you go. That's still decent damage. Bear in mind that was lowered by 50%. Well, whatever the game says is 50%. That's Ruin and Power Strike. No, Ruin and Rupture, sorry. Decent damage, and of course he doesn't have another card to use. I'm actually going to keep that Cleave card and just get rid of these and get Melee's ult at the same time. Pretty sure melee kills. Yeah, I'm pretty sure melee kills. That's damage cap, by the way. 224k is damage cap on this phase. Okay, so my only hope is that Frey doesn't do too much. If Frey does damage cap, then my melee will lose ult gauge. But he shouldn't. That's very close though. Now he's going to ult, which will take him to the dissolve phase. There you go. Now he could dissolve if I was to attack again. I'll use Miguel to kill. That Miguel at level 2 is looking kind of juicy. That's going to debuff me. I'm completely fine with that. Don't actually mind being debuffed. Lower my ult gauge by 2. That's fine with Freya. This also, I think this one deletes cards, but I don't actually have any cards for Freya, so it's completely fine. Do this. Do this. I'm going to start moving melee cards again. I have enough faith in Miguelda at this point, because Miguelda has very high stats. Also because of the fact that she has so many buffs and that's an amplify card, so it's very powerful. Okay. This is something I do not recommend doing this, but if you are feeling a little greedy, you could attempt the one cycle, which is you kill it before it can disable your main cards. That's not even damage cap. Thank you, Miguelda, for being 6/6 and stop not even hitting damage cap. So as you can see, I was too greedy here. I bit off more than I could chew, and I didn't kill. But still, we've done a lot of damage, which is actually still very useful. Please don't give me a taunt card. Thank you. Don't actually want a taunt card anymore, because it's not even useful for me anymore. Can I get any useful ultimates again? He's going to disable me, so I'm completely fine with that. I can get Melee's ult. I can cleanse, because obviously the debuff doesn't matter, but I still want to heal. So we do this, we do this, we do this. And how much HP you got? 200k. I have full faith in Melee, only because Melee's going to have such high stats. Yeah, Melee will kill, because Melee is broken. It's like my Melee has no weapons, he only has the free weapon, which you get from his affinity, no upgrade. They are upgraded to max, but still. Okay, I got Res isn't too bad. Oh, thank goodness I'm not actually pulling taunts, bro. The one time I'm using a good team, I don't pull taunts. Switch to a bad team, only pull taunts. Okay, this should be good, this should be fine. Freya will also do a decent chunk of damage, I help get some damage reduction stacks, all the good stuff. Main damage dealer here is Melee still, so not too fussed. As long as we take him like quite low, I'm not fussed. That's decent. And he's only got 30% left. I could get Miguelda's ult. Is he just going to power strike? Is he? Okay, no. He's going for Freya, which I don't want. This AI is very smart and it's healing itself because it knows it can do more damage if it heals itself. Actually, I'm going to go for a level 2 heal. And then I'm going to get some lifesteal with Freya. Because he is going to he's going to buff up this turn. Freya heals to full. Miguel actually does quite a bit of damage here. Freya, decent damage for a card that's meant to remove stances. Yeah, okay, now I'm getting horrible luck. Should be fine. I'm going to heal again. I will heal again. Because I can't risk him dying. So he's going to lower my stats by a hell of a lot. But that's fine, because Miguelda should be able to hit decently hard here. Doesn't trigger the res, because why would she? That's fine, he's literally 1 HP. Okay, I'm fine with this. I'm completely fine with this. He can lower my stats all he wants. He does disable everything, but I think he doesn't disable ultimates. I don't think he disables ultimates. Please don't disable ultimates. No, okay, he doesn't disable ultimates. Cool. So we're going to ult here. I really don't want to risk the fact that he's not going to kill. How much has he got? 118k. How much attack you got? 19k. Okay, no, I have faith in this, that this should kill. like this should trigger the res. Freya, please, mate. You've got to do like 11k. Okay, that triggered the res. Hey, why is he healing? He's got 50% heal. That's okay. That's damage cap from melee, but that's even with stats lowered because he's a very fair character. Why do I keep getting so unlucky on these runs? I can't heal him, so he might actually die. He's gonna single target him again. He doesn't. Okay, cool. I really need his ultimate. I can suffer. I can manage losing Freya. I can't manage losing melee. Yeah, Freya is dead, but I'm fine with losing Freya. So now what I can do is I can buff ultimate and then single target, and now this should kill. Full heal. Ult should now remove all of the buffs. Melee should do a hell of a lot of damage now. Damage cap with level 1s. This is what I mean, without Freya's buffs as well. This team is a very good team. Obviously, if you do get bad RNG, then it will come to bite you, but it is still it's a usable team. Once again, I don't need these, and when I was farming them, I wasn't pulling them. Now we'll go on to the third and final team. This team is very good, doesn't really have that many limitations apart from RNG, and as you can see at the end, I got really good RNG all the way until the end, but the RNG at the end is what matters the most. Because if you get really bad RNG at the end, you're screwed. Anyway, on to Team 3. And now we are on to the third and final team. This is the team where, you know, you're playing for a long time, and this is the most optimal team, I believe, currently in the game for Bird. So currently, we've got support character, DPS, and DPS. He has a death damage, that means we don't need a character that has a death damage ultimate, which is very useful. Very good damage overall. Gotha's support is superb, healing and good ultimate. You know, let's get in with it. This team is a very simple team. Everyone's attack, obviously these two attack crit dam, attack defense, HP defense. Characters, associations, HP defense for Merlin, because I want Escanor to have as much health as possible still. Attack crit dam, HP defense, and HP defense for Red Tarmiel, as I need to make sure that my Gotha is able to survive the later side of it. The later phases and floors, because that's when damage starts to spike heavily. But anyway. Here we go. So you don't... I always like to use one Gotha card first. So I'll do this, and then I'll just get rid of these. You're probably wondering why aren't I keeping Escanor cards? I really only want to keep melee level 1 cards. Escanor cards are really just to blitz him down quickly. Escanor's insane, man. This is in my opinion, the most optimal team. It's so quick. My Escanor is 2-6 as well. Trait Melee's 2-6, 6-6, and 2-6 Gotha as well. Escanor doesn't have any outfits. Melee has no outfits. None of these guys have outfits. Of course, I do have Gotha's Relic, which is what you see on the screen. I'm going to do this, this, and then get Escanor's ult. Escanor will kill here, and life's still to full, and then we'll die. We'll take damage again, means that now he has the opportunity to heal to full again. Let's just Shadow Realm him. Actually, I'll cleanse and Shadow Realm. Move. And then I'll move this as well. As you can see here, this can do a lot of damage. One-shot it. Even at when my Escanor was 1-6, he could still one-shot that phase. Thank you for the unnecessary amount of cards. Hopefully this does kill. Damage cap, 30% more. Damage cap, now that goes into the final death. So 2 cards took him to final death, past final damage cap. And our melee can of course secure the dub here, right here. Easy. Please can I get a merge if I go there? No, I actually have to move cards, okay. So we are going to do this, play this, and then do that. And then I am actually going to move the Magelda card so I can guarantee get Magelda ult next turn as well. Melee should just literally just Shadow Realm this thing. Yep, damage cap, perfect. He will debuff me here, but I'm really not afraid of any debuff. He will also, they'll always target Gotha, which is completely fine, as your Gotha's probably should be your most worked on character in terms of set on this team. You want HP defense, of course. I want to do like this, just so I will gain a lot of stats. So this will give me an extra stack of Melee's passive. You see this damage cap with a level 1 because of Gotha's relic. Decent damage from Melee again, and then obviously this should also do quite a bit of damage as well. And now that's the reason I got Magelda's ult, because I'm pretty sure he wasn't going to kill. Yeah, Magelda can be hit as many times as possible. Attack Hraesvelgr won't matter. They'll always want to attack the characters that have the lowest defense stats and the lowest HP stats. Now we can heal again, make sure everyone's full HP before the round ends, just waste it. The only issue is that Gotha obviously does have 2 waste cards, with Magelda as well, making it like 3 out of your 8 cards are waste cards, but it's not too big of a problem. That's first floor done. Now that's where Escanor shines, is this bit, this floor. That's where Escanor starts to shine. So first turn, I'm probably going to go for using up both Gotha cards, Magelda's card, and then Escanor's the Sun card. Also, it doesn't matter that he's using cards because Gotha obviously has Tomio Link, so it will disable him after 2 hits. And I need to keep the Spear card for Escanor. Decent damage from Escanor. I just want to get Escanor's passive start stacking up, which is always useful. Unfortunately, there will be a melee merger here, but there's nothing much I can do about it. You should take like there, probably. Wow, a little bit less. And now he's disabled, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. I am now going to heal up, use this Gotha card, and now this card. This will ensure that everyone on my team has higher stats now. Gotha can also do some damage. Magelda will then get another damage reduction stack for us. Escanor, once again, getting another stack of his own passive, which will help later on. Keep getting all these good Escanor cards, and oh my god, so many Magelda cards. Can obviously buff himself, but it's not actually going to help him very much. Damage, this is a weak point card, so it's not going to do anything really huge. I do have full faith that that kills. I'm also going to merge for Escanor's ult just for the sake of it. Because this turn is where I need to go full DPS mode. So I am going to go for this, and now this. You want to make sure you use that Escanor card at the end because that's the one with the death damage. There you go, there's damage cap. That's that. As long as this melee card does 10%, we're fine, and it will definitely do more than 10%. In fact, it does nearly damage cap. Escanor here. Damage cap. Death damage, just damage cap. Perfect. Well, not damage cap, but enough to kill him after the res. What passive did we even get? Lol, don't care. Anyway. I might just full send it. I have quite a bit of faith that Escanor's AoE card will at least do... that's damage cap, that's good. This will hit damage cap. This has only got to do like... Actually, it has to do less. It's got to do like 1% and then we're fine. It actually hit damage cap, what the hell? It didn't even have Gotha's Relic in play, and now I want to use Gotha's Relic. Hopefully I got a Merger immediately, which is actually kind of helpful. sort of and sort of not at the same time. This should hopefully do a lot of damage. That's damage cap. That's damage cap. Gotha. That's decent damage from Gotha at least. Miguela's level 2 should do a hell of a lot of damage as well. There we go, that's floor 2 done. Now on to floor 3. Floor 3 isn't too bad with this team, it's actually very quick. Mainly because of Escanor does make it a lot easier. The fact that you can nearly... If there wasn't the res, not the res, but either the 25% HP thing or the res, Escanor could 3-shot with level 1s the final phase if you have all the passives and everything maxed out. Okay, so once again we're also going to go for damage reduction stacks. We don't really want Gotha dying here. If Gotha does die, I will of course reset, so it's not really a problem. You can be very unfortunate here and he can just keep using like stupidly strong cards. There we go, decent damage. Escanor get the first stack of Escanor's passive. That's fine. I can remove the stupid blockade, which is this. It still does a hell of a lot of damage to Gotha. That isn't too bad, to be fair. That card ignores defense, but obviously I will be stacking damage reduction, so damage reduction definitely helps. Oh, it's a hell of a lot on this. Okay, so we're going to go for another damage reduction stack. Heal up Escanor nearly to max, which is good. Not bad. Now he's going to have even more stats. Of course, Melee misses the first crit, but that's fine. That's completely fine. As long as Gotha can survive this. He might not be able to because... Oh no, he has got... Maybe he will, maybe he won't. We'll find out. Level 2, probably not. I'll probably kill him. Yep, because this game is so fun. He pulls level 2s all the time. And now we are back. There is no team that has 100% guaranteed kill rate. What I mean by that is there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to kill him every turn. That someone on your team won't die. There's always a chance that someone on your team will die. Especially if this guy keeps pulling level 2 cards, it doesn't matter who you have, they will die. Unless you're running Diane, your character will die. There is no way you're going to save them. Unless you're like a Mega Whale, then... Well, congrats, bro. I don't know why you're watching this video if you're a Mega Whale. That's okay. 2 healing cards is actually gold tier. You can't kill Gotha because Gotha's currently cracked out of his mind at the moment. He just pulled the exact same thing again. Okay, I do want to go for a damage reduction stack, so we will be using 2 melee cards. Please, can you just crit melee? Yeah, it's not hard. Thank you, you didn't have to crit that time. That Power Strike Rupture. No, not Power, I keep calling it Power Strike. That Ruin Rupture card is so irritating. Now it's just blitz it with Escanor. I'll use a melee card at the end. I don't really want to use all my Escanor cards immediately. Escanor's going to have very high passive currently. Yeah, I didn't realize. As you can see, Escanor's really broken for this. It's very good. I didn't get the one where I always get crit, which is the one I hate always getting. I'm pretty sure this will kill. I'm just hoping. I'd rather Escanor take the thing lower than it. I don't really want melee being hull gauge lowered. Oh, no, this might kill, this might kill. He still gets Dissolve! Oh, that's pretty not nice at all. Thank you, game. Waste. use that, and then use this. Just to get really just want to get rid of these cards. And next turn I'll heal up, so it's not too big of a problem. Escanor, bang, 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 bang. Damage cap. Melee. Still can't hit damage cap. That's fine, he can attack Gotha. I don't mind him attacking Gotha. Can you like drain my ult gauge? I'd actually want you to drain my ult gauge. Let's just use these, get rid of them, and then we will get this, so we get Miguel's ult. He heals to full because of his own passive. I'll lower his ult gauge. Gotha goes in again. Big damage from Gotha. Of course, why would I not get this passive? Anyway. This might take me a few resets, only because I'm not sure if Escanor is going to be feeling it. No, he's not feeling it, okay. But now I'm scared that Melee's... Yeah, Melee's going to hit Cap. Oh, goodness sake, man. You're too strong. Too good, man. Too good. And guess what? We're back. Well, I might just do this instead. Escanor shouldn't hit damage cap, right? Like 337. Oh no. Yes! Melee! He done it! He done it, there you go. It does take a few resets because Escanor's death damage does throw you off a little bit, but when you get used to it, this team's actually really easy to use. Once again, don't need any of these. Thank you, game. Anyway, I'll have to do an outro. I'll do an outro separate. Anyway, bye-bye for now. Hello everyone, this is the end of the video. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it if you've made it this far. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. This video has taken me hours to record. It's probably going to take me quite a while to edit as well. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. And this video was a pain to make, so bye-bye.